Mr. Green. Voitot pankkitilillesi 5 minuutissa.
So, hello, Wolfgang. How has the year 2021 started for you?
It's been a slight improvement over the last, for sure. Considering how terrible, I think anything could be better than last year. But
Yeah, obviously, the last year has been quite rough because of COVID, but also because you lost your father. So, my sincere condolences to you.
Thank you.
So, speaking about that, did you ever realize that how much he meant to the music world?
Oh yeah, I think there are only about 3 guitar players that influenced the instrument.
Yeah.
And that would be Les Paul, Jimi Hendrix, and my father. I feel like you can't really argue with the monumental effect that they each had on the instrument.
So obviously I watched the Grammys, and I guess you watched it too. So what were your reactions when your dad got such a small role in the end on the
It was
winners
way different than
part?
what I thought it was gonna be. But I think the only thing that really disappointed me was that he wasn't mentioned by name, at least in the beginning. I
Yeah.
felt that was kind of like he should have at least been brought up, you know.
So they asked you to perform. Was there some specific reason that you didn't want to do it?
Yeah, I've been spending my life trying to be my own musician.
Yeah.
And being asked to go up and be my dad is a bit of a tone deaf ask, in my opinion.
Yeah.
So I don't think people really, at least the people who've been criticizing me for not doing it, I don't think they really thought about how I would feel in that. And just,
Yeah, for sure,
you know,
of course. So obviously we are doing the interview because you are about to release the Mammoth Wolfgang Van Halen debut album on June 11th via Warner Music. So when I first heard about the album, I think it was mid 2018 or something around that. So how long have you actually been working on this?
in terms of writing, I started writing for my own project in 2013. But we
Okay.
didn't start tracking until 2015, and then over the years and different spurts of working, because I was kind of figuring out who I was through the process. We didn't finish it until mid 2018.
Okay, so were you actually rewriting some of the songs along the way, or
No,
how was the process?
it was more, I was just writing more material, and we just kept recording more. By the end, we had a bunch of
Okay.
different songs almost complete. But we ended up focusing on the ones that will be released in the album, and maybe I'll go back to those for the next album or something.
Yeah, I was actually going to ask you next at how much material you have ready.
Yeah, I'm definitely ready. It won't take nearly as long to get the second album out, that's for sure.
So what kind of process was it to write the solo album? Was it sort of searching, as you said, searching for yourself while doing?
Yeah, I like to, I joke around and say that, I never went to college, but recording this album was almost my college for me. By the end of it, I figured out how I wanted to do what I wanted to do. So.
So was there some specific track which was sort of the path where to go with the album for you?
Yeah, one of the very first ideas I wrote, the demo was called, I called it Mammoth 1, because it was kind of the beginning, this new beginning for me. And that song actually appears on the album. It's called Mammoth. So it's really exciting that the beginning, it's kind of the core of the sound from the beginning.
Okay, so that was the song that you sort of built the album over with.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so at what point did that track Distance came into picture? It's, by the way, an amazing track, and it's pretty hard to listen to it without starting to cry.
Yeah, I wrote it around the same time, but I didn't, put the finishing touches on it. Yeah, I wasn't planning on having it on the album at all. But
Okay.
when everything happened, I thought it would be best to put the finishing touches on it and release it standalone, and have the proceeds go to my father's favorite charity. But then it blew up far beyond my wildest dreams.
Yeah.
So I thought it'd be a good idea to throw it on the album as a bonus track, because right now it's only available digitally. And so whenever somebody gets a physical album, they'll be able to have that song too.
Yeah, and I guess that's a track that quite many people appreciate that it's
Yeah, I'm
on the
sure
album.
they'll pick up the album like, hey, where's that song? It's not there,
Yeah,
so
yeah, for sure,
might
for
just
sure.
throw it on as a bonus track.
So what kind of process was it for you to create that specific track? Because it's so emotional in many ways.
Well, music in general and everything I've written has always been a sort of therapy for me.
Yeah,
And that song was definitely no different. I'd been going through a hard time and just kind of imagining what life would be like without my father in it. Because I think, but I like to write my lyrics in a way where anybody can kind of derive their own meaning from it. Because overall, I think it's just a song about loss. And if anybody's ever experienced anything like that, they can definitely relate.
yeah. You can see it when you read the comment section of the song that there's
Yeah.
quite many people that can relate to that song. So were you actually surprised that it got such a great feedback all over the
Absolutely.
globe?
It was not the first song I was planning on releasing, because it's not like it's super different from the material on the album, but it definitely is kind of an outlier in the sound, since it's a softer song and the album is more of a hard rock album. So I was definitely, but with where I was mentally and with everything happened, it just felt like the right thing to do as a tribute to my father. He did the same
So
thing for me when I was born.
yeah,
He-
so there was an interview that Miles Kennedy recently did, and he said in the interview that your success with Distance has given him faith in humans again. So how does it feel to hear such credit from such an amazing musician as Miles is?
Miles is a great friend, and he's just like an incredible musician. I love that man. So for him to say anything kind about me in an interview like that is it's incredibly flattering. I love that guy.
So you also performed the song live, Distance live, for the first time in Jimmy Kimmel. So what kind of experience was that? I could imagine that it's like extremely difficult to perform that track live.
Yeah, it wasn't easy, and I don't think it'll ever get easy.
Yeah.
You just have to separate yourself mentally to be able to even perform it. But I think I think I did it. But it's just you really gotta prepare yourself for it before you do it.
Yeah, because your voice was sort of like a little bit shaking when you started it, but you still like pulled it through like amazingly well.
Thank you.
So the first single that you released from the album is You're to Blame. So is that a song that sort of represents the album more, like
Yeah, I think in
music
terms
wisely?
of the hard rock sound, it's certainly more in the core circle of what you can expect. But I think there are some songs that sound like Distance on the album as well. I think there's kind of a wide breadth of sounds that the album can represent. So I'm
So
excited for people to see. I really think if you're a fan of just rock or music in general, you'll be able to find something on the album that you'll like.
so was that also sort of like your goal, that you wanted to have like a quite diverse album, which sort of represents yourself as a musician as well?
Yeah, I don't think there was ever an intention to diversify on purpose. I think it just kind of happened, and any song or sound that kind of interested me, I followed it, and I think that's what you hear on the album.
So you said that some of the songs, at least when you were making them, were sort of like therapy to you. So what kind of like lyrical themes you are going through on the album? I haven't actually heard of it yet.
I
So
guess I'm a really introverted person, and I tend to avoid conflict, and I kind of get out those emotions in lyrically. It helps me kind of deal with things in life in general. So it's I don't know. It's just overall a therapeutic experience to help me kind of deal with what's in my head.
so is there like some theme around the album, or is it just like separate songs with
Yeah,
different
it's
topics?
not a concept album by any
Yeah.
means, but I think overall you may be able to derive some sort of style or something from how I write my lyrics, I guess.
So which musicians have been like the most influential to you when it comes to like writing lyrics? Is there like some musician that you look up to as a lyric writer?
Lyrically, not specifically. I think just
Okay.
overall there are certain bands that just their sound and their melodies make me happy, like Foo Fighters or Nine Inch Nails, Jimmy Eat World, AC/DC, Tool, you know, kind of, or Alice in Chains, just kind of amalgamation of all those bands kind of swirling in my head that kind of help give me inspiration.
So were you sort of looking on this debut album to have that same kind of like happy vibe as well?
I think it depends. I think I tend to write happier sounding music because I just, I guess I like major chords and stuff like that. But yeah, it's never really an attempt. It's just kind of, I wrote music that I want to hear, and that's kind of what happened.
Yeah, but I guess everyone needs happy music in these times we are living in.
Absolutely.
So how big part has actually music been to you during these overall dark times? Have you been listening to a lot of music yourself?
Yeah, I've, you know, I've been listening, I've been writing. It's just been a very, I think music is a beautiful thing. You know, it's a universal language. You don't need to know how to speak it in order to enjoy it. So it's a really important thing that everyone should, uh, you know, partake in.
So are you in general the kind of guy who likes to like discover new bands, or are you the kind of guy who likes to stick to the old classic albums when you're
Oh,
listening to music?
yeah, I'm nothing like that. If there's one thing I don't like in music is elitism. I think there's something good to be found in everything. So blocking yourself off like that, you're kind of doing yourself a disservice, because you can definitely find something to enjoy other than what you're comfortable with.
So what's the best new rock band that you have like recently discovered? Is there any that comes into your mind?
Yeah, there's a band called the Intersphere. They're a German band.
Okay.
They're a phenomenal band. I don't think enough people listen to them. I think they're really great.
So how do you discover music yourself? Is there somebody who recommends that, hey man, you need to listen to this
Yeah,
and
maybe it's just kind of socially, like through friends, or you know,
yeah.
sometimes just recommended through an algorithm or something. But never know.
Okay, so you listen to Spotify yourself.
I listen to all different kinds of things. Considering that, you know, my music is being released on all these streaming platforms, I wanted to familiarize myself with it. So I've been using Spotify, but I also, anytime I find something I enjoy, I make sure to purchase it on iTunes or buy a vinyl of it or something.
So are you in general the kind of guy who actually like follows what medias and fans writes about your music, or do you try to stay away from the comment section? Or
I mean, I don't stray away from it too much, but you know, I'm confident in what I've put out, so it's not like somebody's opinion on it is going to sway how I feel about it.
yeah, but you still check out if there is something
I mean,
worth checking out.
it's right there. You know, if somebody tweets directly at me, I'll probably see it, because it's just, that's what the app does.
Yeah, for sure, for sure. So obviously the first show you will be playing with the band most likely is going to be the Aftershock Festival. But in general, what kind of like future plans do you have with the band? Do you plan on taking it as many places as possible, or what's
Absolutely.
in the scope?
I'll go anywhere that people will have me. You know, I just especially after being on lockdown for this long, I'm just itching to get back out there.
So I read an interview about the Van Halen that there was some kind of like grand final show which was in the works, but obviously didn't happen in the end. But do you still feel that after this COVID situation has sort of gone away, that there will be some kind of like massive tribute show for your dad, or how do you see it yourself?
Yeah, I think that's certainly possible, but that's something that we can only discuss once we're all able to partake in it again.
So hey, well, thank you a lot for all the time, and all the best for the future.
Thanks so much.
Anything you want to say as last words to all the Finnish fans who will be watching this afterwards?
No, just thanks for watching, and I hope you enjoy the album. I worked really hard on it, so I'm sure you guys can find something to enjoy on it. I'm really proud of it.